ourselves, if we're wondering whether we may be elder brother types, is what's our heart temperature for those who are different from us? What's your heart temperature for people who live by different moral standards than you do? Think of it as an oven, you know. Are we at 150? Are we 250, 350? What's your heart temperature for those of different races? What's your heart temperature for people of different faiths? Other religions? What's your heart temperature for people from different classes? If it's cold, you're an elder brother. And if it's lukewarm, then you're probably sliding into that direction. And as you can imagine, elder brother types aren't very good at evangelism, right? You can't evangelize somebody when you're cold toward them. Last sign that you may be an elder brother is you have an unforgiving, judgmental spirit. In Jesus' parable, the elder brother can't get past what his kid brother has done. We know this because in verse 30, he refers to him as the son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes. You know, he's got his list out and he's reading the list and he's not focusing on what the younger brother is doing, but what the younger brother has done. It doesn't matter to him that he's repented, that he's been forgiven by the Father, that he's home again. He squandered your property with prostitutes. He did this. Who cares what he's doing right now? Elder brothers have an unforgiving, judgmental spirit. As we learned 2 weeks ago, it's impossible to forgive somebody that you feel superior to. Right? If you think you're better than the person, then your first conclusion when you're the elder brother is, I would never do that. Let him reap his rewards. He was stupid. He wasted his inheritance. Let him suffer the consequences. And really this brings us back to the common thread that's been running through this whole series, which is the difference between gospel and religion. Gospel and religion. Religion works with the principle, I obey, therefore God accepts me. And gospel works with the principle, I am accepted by God through Jesus Christ, and therefore I obey. Out of gratitude, not out of guilt. Religion and gospel. And don't be fooled. There's not a slight distinction between the two. They are diametrically opposed. They're like opposing magnets. They just can't get hitched. And here's why we get sometimes confused. Because both sets of people sit in the church side by side. It isn't this diametrically opposed thing. Both of us pray. Both of us obey God's commands. But we do it out of radically different reasons. And because we do it out of radically different reasons, we get radically different results. It produces a different kind of fruit in us. A different kind of character. The religion produces anger and joyless compliance and insecurity and coldness to younger brother types and a judgmental, condemning spirit. Gospel slowly but surely produces love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Diametrically opposed. Folks, this message, this series that we're in is so important to the kind of community that we're trying to be. It's important for elder brother types because they need to see themselves in this mirror. If you're sick and you know you're sick, you go to a doctor and you get help. If you're sick and you don't know you're sick, you won't go to a doctor and you won't get help and you could die. In fact, there are elder brothers in every church. There are elder brothers in River City Church. Now, of course, I don't have the right to look at them and to say, you know, when I look at you, I see an elder brother, and not you specifically, but when I look at you or whatever, I don't have that right, and you don't have that right either. That's not our place. But here's how it works. If we keep teaching and speaking gospel in this place, and if every so often we return to this message of the elder brother and of this new category of lostness, then every quarter or every half a year or every year, a trickle of elder brothers will change, and they'll say, you know what, I've been living as an elder brother. I've been working so hard, and now I can let go. It's gospel. It's grace. So the elder brothers need to hear it. But the younger brothers of the world need to hear it too. They desperately need to hear it. You know, so many people today in our Canadian culture have abandoned any kind of faith because they see clearly that the major religions are simply full of elder brothers. They've come to conclude that religion is one of the greatest sources of misery and strife in our world. And guess what? Through this parable, Jesus is basically saying they're right. They are right. The anger and superiority of elder brothers, all arising out of this insecurity and this fear and this inner emptiness, can create a huge body of guilt-ridden, fear-ridden, spiritually blind people, which is, in fact, one of the greatest sources of injustice and war and violence in our world today. And that's why so many in our Canadian culture say that Christianity is just another religion. There's no difference. But Jesus would say there is a difference. The Christian gospel provides a different path altogether. It calls us away from the licentiousness of younger brotherness. It calls us away from, that just blatant rule breaking and living for yourself with disregard for everyone else. And it also speaks against this elder brother moralism, this elder brother legalism. It's against both. It pushes both of them away. And at River City Church, we're trying to be very intentional about this middle way, if you will, this gospel reality, this different path. We're trying to make a clear distinction between gospel and religious legalism and licentiousness on the other hand. We want to go on a completely different path. And so when we say church has changed, we're not referring to the fact that we meet in a movie theater. We're not referring to dressing down. We're not referring to a band instead of a choir. When we say church has changed, what we mean by that is that we're providing an opportunity wherein younger brothers of the world can come. And they can explore Christianity from a different perspective, a gospel perspective. This new way is what we're about, and that's our mission, is to be a gospel community. Elder brothers need to hear this, younger brothers. There's a third group who need to hear this message, and it includes those that Tim Keller calls elder brother-ish. Elder brother-ish. Because we all know there's a big difference between a gospel Christian and an elder brother. Right? But many people who are genuine Christians are elder brother-ish. If you became a Christian out of being an elder brother type personality, you can easily slide back into those elder brother attitudes or that elder brother spiritual deadness. You see yourself growing in holiness, and before you know it, you develop this air of superiority. You're a worship leader, not to pick on our band or anything, and God's given you this gift of drawing others into worship, but not everybody has that gift to the same level, and so the other people who don't have that gift like you do, you look down upon. Well, they don't belong here, right? That's not their gift, that's my gift. You're serving faithfully. You're a hard worker. You're committed to the cause, right? You've got scars for River City. But before you know it, it's duty. It's joyless duty. You rush your quiet time with God. And before you know it, there's just a spiritual dryness there. And rather than admit it and seek to do something about it, as the Spirit convicts you, you just press on. In fact, I would go so far as to say this. When you're most confident that you've left elder brother junk behind, that's when you're most susceptible to falling back into it again. Right? We can't ever think that we've escaped this. The history of the church is proof that none of us could on our own, and that we always need to be cautious. And so there's a caution here for all of us who see ourselves as born-again Christians. And so while all of us here this morning may be at different places spiritually, whether we're maybe seeing some elder brother tendencies or feel lost like the younger brother, or we have this elder brother-ishness, all of us need to hear this important message. And it has implications for how we do church together at River City. It means those of us who see ourselves as born-again Christians will be ever vigilant against elder brother-ish tendencies coming back into our lives. And it means aware of the fact that we can live with self-deceit pretty easily. We can live in denial. We'll be in community. We'll be in fellowship with some other born-again Christians who can hold us accountable. And we have what we call home groups at River City Church, which is kind of constructed as a context for that. It's a regular thing, and it makes it easy for people like me who have to be disciplined with their schedules to know, oh, it's home group night, it's home group night.